Well, it seems like things were going up. It seemed like we were seeing some upward momentum. It seems like everybody was so excited, like, oh, bullish reversal. We're good. We made it. Well, one thing that we've been talking about on this channel for maybe the last 4 or 5 days now is the waiting for confirmation. I know in my Patreon members are sick of hearing those words. Wait for confirmation. Wait for confirmation. Tyler, what should I do? You should wait for confirmation. That has been what we have been saying time and time again because the market has not confirmed whether it wants to go up or whether it wants to go down. And realistically, we are at a coin flip right now. This thing 50% could go up, 50% could go down. Now, we'll take a look at the charts here just to get an idea of what it's doing. But today's video is going to be more focused around what I am and am not buying at the moment. I honestly am very long term on the crypto world itself. I think that buying some of these different cryptos for the next, if you're looking at like a 5 to 10 to 15, 20 year landscape, the majority of them that are true and have strong foundations, strong fundamentals, have a great team, have the good enough funds, and have all of this stuff, I honestly believe that the majority of them will make it out as long as they are strong. Some of those more established projects, okay? But if we're looking at this in the terms of, okay, with these new coins, with these hype coins, should we be buying right now? Should we not be buying right now? Let's just take a look at the grand scape right now, and I will talk about the type of coins that I am buying and the type of coins I'm not buying right now and the reasonings as to why not. Now, for all of you new viewers out there, I will let you know that I do have a Patreon. Now, in this Patreon, you will get access to many things. I mean, we provide a lot, right? You get access to my trades, my portfolios, you get research reports, security reports, you get updates on my notes whenever I make videos, you get updates on things I'm looking at, things that pop up on my radar, you get access to me. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, so definitely go down to the link in the description, go check it out, and let me know what you think. And also for all of you new investors out there, if you are looking to start your own investment journey, or if you are looking to expand out into a new brokerage, I highly recommend it using the referral link down below. It'll bring you over to Webull, and whenever you deposit $100, you will get 2 free stocks valued all the way up to $1,850. But with that being said, we're going to start off looking at the Bitcoin charts just for maybe a minute or two here. I'm not going to go super deep into technical analysis, as it's not the point of the video. It's more just to show that we are at a 50-50, okay? We're at a 50-50 in the sense that we saw this big fall, right? We all knew this big fall was coming here. Everything was starting to get pumped up. Then we started to reach these tops. We started to reach these highs, and things looked as if they were starting to roll over, and that's what happened. We saw the big fall. We started to see this thing get pushed down, and now here we are, okay? We've been here for maybe about the last 10 to 11 days now, and the market really doesn't know what it wants to do. Now, one thing that I will say is that I still do believe that we could very, very well see this bull market continue, but I think that the bear market could happen if that bull market doesn't come soon enough. That's just kind of where I'm standing at. That's why I think it's a 50-50. What we're looking at the moment is going to be this wedge here. This is very important. This is like the most important thing that we can look at the moment for real, true confirmation. Now, of course, me and my Patreon members, we have made trades within here. We did make a trade here. We saw a nice little gain here, and then I think we made one all the way back. There we go, right here. We pushed one all the way back up here. Just making quick gains, but that's not what's important right now. What's important is the long-term perspective and the long-term scope of things. Realistically, the way in which we break out of this wedge in which we are in right now will dictate where we go over the next few weeks, few months. That's my honest, true opinion. I think a breakout here, there's a few more levels that we need to clear for long-term growth before we can say, okay, the bull run continues. But I think a breakout downwards plus a retest plus a further rejection, that's probably pretty bearish, and that sends us down into the 25 to 28,000 range, in my opinion, roughly. So as you can see, we're just basically waiting for confirmation. Where does this thing go? Where does it go? So in those times, what are we buying? What are we not buying? For me and my team. What we are buying right now are we're going to be buying more well-established cryptos, okay? So I'm actually not buying much Bitcoin, okay? It might sound crazy, but I'm buying actually a lot of altcoins at the moment, or a lot of money's worth of altcoins in the grand scheme of things, okay? Now, realistically, while we've been in this phase, I've only invested maybe 16%, 17% of my total cash, as I am waiting for confirmation. I don't just say it for no reason. But whenever whenever we're in this phase here, I'll put maybe 20% of my cash in, just because you never know what could happen, okay? And I'm not really the big guy who's like, I want to time this thing absolutely perfectly. My game plan is put money into these cryptos and let it go for 10 years. Okay, that's just what my game plan has been from the beginning. So if I could get a little good buying opportunity here before maybe we go all the way back up here, cool. If not, if it falls down, I got 80% of my cash left. Okay, so I get a good deal that way, or I get really good deals going down this way. It's really no issue. So what makes these cryptos that I'm buying right now? What are things I'm looking for? And then we'll talk about coins I'm not buying. Okay. The coins I'm looking for, very, very first off right now, like kind of like the highest thing up on my list is their funds, okay? Do these cryptos that I'm buying right now have the funds to make it out if we fall below here if we do see that fall, okay? Because a bear market, in my opinion, again, is tails. We're flipping a coin. Bull market heads, bear market tails, and we're just flipping one right now. That's where I think we're at. And I think that if we do see this bear market and come through, and we do start to see maybe a fall that could last, who knows, weeks, possibly months, possibly years, possibly. Do these cryptos that I'm investing in have enough funds to make it out of that? Because if they don't, why would I buy them, right? At this point, the risk versus the reward is not in my favor. Because we have to consider the fact that maybe a month ago, whenever we were buying some of these different hype coins, we could see that the reward was a potential 1000x, 100x, 150x. They're not doing that right now. But the risk is losing every single dollar you put in. That risk has remained the same, but the reward has dramatically decreased. Okay? So realistically, if that's my risk versus reward, and I know that with the risk, if we go into a bear market that they won't make it out because they can't afford to, well, realistically, that's not a good buy right now. The second thing I'm looking for is how they've reacted over the last week. Now, people might think, what do you mean? Like, what? Well, not their price. How has the team reacted over the last week? If whenever we saw everything going well, if we saw the hype going well, if we saw everybody all excited, woohoo, we're going up, we're going 1000x, we're going to make all your money back, you are going to get rich, you're going to retire off of our new coin that is 6 days old. If you saw a lot of that, and then now that the market has fallen, they've dead quieted, they've just gone quiet, they don't know what to say, they don't know what to do, that's a bad buy. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to be looking for kind of stems off of that, and it's the team behind it. Does this team have what it takes to make it in bad times? Okay, now there's a few ways we can gauge that, right? The best way to gauge that, though, is going to be to see how they reacted to things in the past. Now let's break that into two things. One, if they've reacted well or not well, and if they've even had something to react to. If a company is so brand new and we don't know anything about their team and we don't know how they handle hard times, I'm not personally okay with putting my money into something like that because the risk, again, the risk versus reward is not there. That's a big risk. Will their coin make it? I don't know. Will their team be able to make it out of bad times? Again, I don't know. So realistically, if my reward isn't really that high, but I'm taking on that much risk, what is the point? So that's number one. Number two, let's go over to how they've reacted in the past. We've seen some of these newer cryptos. I mean, even if we just, I always use Safemoon as an example because I think it's like the king of the hype coins right now. I would say that when we look at Safemoon and we've looked at how the team has handled some of these bad times, they've handled them pretty well. They've went to war with Warren Ruggs. They've had many different speculations, many things they've broken down, and many things that they've clarified, and they handle adversity well. And that is a type of company that gives me a little bit more confidence. Again, I still believe that the risk versus reward is a little bit sketchy, but it's a little bit better when we talk about the risk because we've seen that if they've reacted well in the past to some of these negative times, well, I don't see any reason as to why they won't be able to in the future. Does that mean that they'll have enough funds to handle a bear market for 2 years? I don't know. Probably not. But whenever it comes to how they will handle it and will they be able to figure it out, well, based off how they figured it out in the past, I think that they have the potential to figure it out in the future. Well, let's go ahead and let's take a look at maybe what if we think about other companies. I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to, throw any shade. But if we think about companies that have not handled adversity well, right? We see a big outlash, right? We see backlash from the community, or we see something negative happen and they don't handle it well. They just go ghost. I'm not putting my money into them because I don't trust them, right? At the end of the day, just to be blunt, I don't trust them. So why would I put my money into them? Because the risk versus the reward right now, when hype coins aren't flying like they were, there's no point. So let's talk about the companies that I am buying. These are going to be the companies that are going to have, first and foremost, again, the funds to make it through it. Okay, we need to look at these different cryptos who are so well established that I can look at them and we can look at the numbers they're doing. We can look at their coin. We can look at the market cap and say, realistically, if that thing fell 50%, they could still make it through. That's big. That's number one. The next thing that I am looking for is a usage. And now that's something that I didn't include in the last one, but I think these are pretty flippable. Like you can apply this. If they don't have a use, don't buy it. If they do have a use, buy it. That's kind of like where I'm at the moment. But whenever it comes to use case, it's not just a use case because many hype coins, many meme coins have use cases. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a use case that applies no matter what the price is doing. And that's the differential. That's the difference that separates the ones that'll make it and the ones that probably won't. I'm going to be looking for those different cryptos that their use case is usable no matter what predicament the market is in. If we look at something maybe like Ethereum, right? Whenever we think of the overall use case of Ethereum itself, whenever we consider the fact that there's so much that happens on the Ethereum blockchain, whenever we just consider all of these things realistically, whether the market up here or down here, Ethereum's use case still remains the same. Okay. I think some of these different cryptos that are trying to say that, oh, we're a store of value. Well, honestly, if the price is just consistently dropping and dropping and dropping, no, you're not. You know what I mean? Now, I think that's different with Bitcoin because I think that the future of Bitcoin still, like, it has no doubt in my mind, it rests way higher in price than it is now. But if there's cryptos outside of those top 10 that are saying that, oh, we're a store of value, but they don't even really have the funds to be able to get through a bear market, why would I want to store my value in something like that? You know what I mean? So those are the differences that I have to look at. Okay, what is your coin used for? And if the price falls dramatically and there's no use for it, then you don't have a real true use case. You know what I mean? So that's another thing I'm looking for. Whenever I think about in general, when it comes to these companies, right? What was the reason in which they are even relatively known in your mind in the first place? Did you just find out about this company because it was being hyped up? Did you first find out about this company just because it's a big meme, it's big hype, and everyone's just excited because they just wanted to see those gains? If that is a company like that, realistically, if there's no true use case, plus it's just hyped up, well, to be honest, if we see this market fall, that hype is dead. And if it only grew off of hype, you know what happens when hype goes away? It comes back down and it falls basically back to zero, right? We see it time and time again. We see the cyclicality of these different hype coins and these meme coins. And that's why I constantly say, take profits on the way up, because you never know what'll happen. You never know when some big manipulation will happen that'll drop Bitcoin. And the next thing you know, all the hype coins are dead, right? It is within the realm of possibility now. Okay. So if these different coins that you're in, you're still up maybe a couple 100%, but you only got in because there was hype, and realistically, it has no use case. It has no reason to be used during a bear market. The hype is gone during a bear market. They don't have the funds to get out of bear market, and we don't know if their team can get through a bear market. It's not worth buying. The risk versus the reward is not there. That's how I think about it mentally. Okay, so these are just a few examples of things that I am and am not looking for. Personally speaking, the coins that I'm buying right now, Cardano, might buy a little XRP because I think the lawsuit looks like they might be going in their favor. And then I honestly think that they have enough of a use case to be able to make it out. I'm buying Cardano, I'm buying XRP. I'm buying XRP soon. I haven't bought it yet, but I'm buying it soon. Okay, Ethereum, altcoin there, Bitcoin. I'm buying Bitcoin. I know it's not an altcoin, but I'm buying Bitcoin. I'm buying those top 5, those top 10. Those are the ones I'm buying right now because I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that they will make it out of a bear market. And going into a bear market, potentially, you need that clarity. You are going to be emotional enough. You're going to see all cryptos falling. People are going to be saying that crypto's dead, that crypto's never going to come back. We know it will, but they're going to say it's not, and it might get in your head a little. But having money in these coins that you have no doubt in your mind about, that if crypto returns, they will recover too, that will give you the mental clarity to make wise decisions during a time where everyone's being unwise. Everyone's being dumb and stupid, and they're just doing stupid things because they're chasing money. Okay? And so with that, those are the type of coins I'm buying right now. I don't think now is the time to be speculative. I don't think it's the time to speculate, can this team make it out of it? I'm speculating that they'll make it out. No. We need to go off facts right now. We need to go off facts. We need to go off numbers. We need to go off statistics. And we need to wait for confirmation. That's it. If I can say anything at all whatsoever, just simply wait for confirmation before buying anything. If you just want to hold and brace and tighten up and be like, oh God, here we go, let's just see what happens, that's perfectly fine, okay? Then once we get confirmation upwards or downwards, then we strategize, how do we react off of that? Boom, do we start shorting? Do we start pushing up? Do we start longing? What are we doing from there? So I will keep you guys up to date on what I'm doing, and I know you guys do like to have my opinion on what I'm doing with these certain coins, and I know some people are going to be mad, like, no, Tyler, 100Xs are here. They're promising us that they'll make us back all the money that we lost over the last couple of weeks with all of these big coins and altcoins like Ethereum. Avoid them, please avoid them. Okay. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Now, again, I think it's still a 50-50. I'm not saying we're in a bear market. I'm not saying we're in a bull market. I don't know. No one knows. But what I am saying is now is not the time to make speculative decisions. Okay. So with that being said, that is going to be about it for today's video. And I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, of course, you can let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new. I post on this channel 2 to 3 times every single day, and I will keep you guys as up to date as possible about all of the moves I make. I'm sure you guys have noticed that in the past maybe 2 weeks, I haven't been talking about some of these speculative plays. It's because I hold true to these principles. I'm not just on here talking. I'm not just on here, blowing smoke and saying that I'm doing this, I'm doing that. No, you can see it. Whenever I think it's time to be speculative and that the risk versus reward makes sense, I'll talk about speculative plays. But until then, I don't think it's worth it. And going forward, we will keep you guys up to date on everything that happens. And if my opinion changes, of course, you will be the first one to know. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's video again, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.